the sound that's making, well, the sound that's coming other than my voice is, oh, pause. That other sound is the fridge in my room, and also why I'm whispering is because I'm not home alone. Well, I'm not alone here today, so just try to keep it on a, whisper vibe. Anyway, so I had an epiphany today, and that epiphany was, the desires that I have now are a reflection of my state of consciousness. So the desire I have to, I think as my awareness is expanding, right? So let's say my recurring one is vacation for 1 year, right? Paid vacation for 1 year, and then after that, just doing whatever I want for a living, right? Living the kind of life that I wouldn't want to get, that I wouldn't want to break from, the kind of life that even if challenges came, I would still embrace them, right? I'd still be grateful for them. So then I realized, like, as much as I would want that 1 year vacation, if I had to heal, right? So yesterday I posted on my status, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, saying I need a massage for the soul, the mind, and the body, and then a solo vacation, or a 365-day solo vacation. So the reason why I didn't say mind, body, and soul, and I said soul, mind, and body, is because everything originates from the soul, right? Well, let's say the soul originates from consciousness, and since the soul is just pure consciousness, or like, yeah, something like that, or rather, let's say the soul is an aspect of consciousness, right? I had this epiphany that the soul can't be, well, the reason why I said is because things start from the soul. Yeah, the reason why I did it soul, mind, and body is because things start from the soul. So even though another epiphany I had is like, no matter what can happen here to my body, that won't hinder the soul, because it's like when you have a dream, right? This is the epiphany I had after the epiphany. So and then I'll tell you of the epiphany I had before this current epiphany that I'm talking about. So I realized that when you have a dream and then you die in the dream, like, yeah, some of them might be traumatic and whatnot, all of that, but then it only lingers in the experience or the recollection of the experience. But then as your essence, as your soul, there are other experiences, orgasmic experiences, like, the kind that, as much as the other traumatic one you wouldn't forget, the blissful one you wouldn't forget as well, right? And then those balance each other out, because there'll be the traumatic, there'll be the bad ones, an infinite amount of those, and different ones, an infinite amount of those, and the good ones, an infinite amount of those, and all of those, that sacred trinity, balance each other's out, like, completely, right? So having that realization, then I'm like, so basically, really it's like the mind and then the soul. So since I feel like I'm fragmented, right? The aspect of me that I want to heal from my younger self from 10 years back, then the desires that I will have after the 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 um the the, the healing, the assembly, the integration of that aspect of mine, right? For me going from the fragmentation and then being assimilated and being brought back into one, into wholeness, then new desires would spring from that. For example, like now, right? Okay, so as much as I want to sleep on the floor and whatnot, here I haven't quite figured out like a very conducive way to sleep on the floor, right? And then also the base thing is like it's just ruining the base, so I'm just gonna mice and stop sleeping on the base, because also that was being very uncomfortable. So I'll just sleep on the bed just for now, just to mice until I find a proper alternative. Alright, so 5 years back, actually, take it back to, what year was this? 2021, yes. Back when we still had the boys in Indonesia. I used to sleep on the floor because there were no beds. The only bed was in a room where my granny used to sleep in, and I'd sleep in the other room where, yeah, I'd basically sleep on the floor. And that was very uncomfortable. But, you see, so if you had to ask that version of me to sleep on the floor and then tell them all the things at that level of consciousness, I couldn't be receptive to even the benefits of it, right? Because then my body was just in constant pain, right? Whereas now, it feels nice to wake up even from that pain. Not the pain itself, but rather I'd say the discomfort, yes. That sort of discomfort, it puts you in it wakes you up, and it's like a an alchemized cold shower, so to speak, just taken in a different form of sleeping on the floor. So yeah, from that epiphany, right, of that those desires, the present level of consciousness. Before that, I was like, okay, yeah, it was basically this realization that the desires that I have now, right, are inclusive of the consciousness I have. But as soon as I expand, I spiral upward, they will be exclusive now, and they can't be compatible anymore, right? Because like my present level of consciousness now versus I mean, a decade ago, if you asked me that, I stopped eating meat, I probably would have refused. Like, I would have fought it to the death. Whereas, but and that was a reflection of that level of consciousness that I had a decade ago. You see, so that's me realizing that, oh, okay, these desires that I have, I think now it's brought me back to the main desire of just wanting me to, how can I say, me wanting to be whole again, because realizing that what is this? Realizing that brain fog. Gotta cut down the sugar. Realizing that yeah, realizing that once I heal, new desires will spring forth from that healing, right? So things that I want now will kind of be like I don't want to say mundane, but superfluous, sort of miscellaneous in a way. Like, sort of, they won't hit the same. They won't bring me as much. I won't prefer them. I don't want to say fulfillment, but I won't prefer to experience those things as much as I would be myself now. Because, for example, I was thinking like, okay, let's say from a year from now, things change completely. Like, there's some wild things that happen. I don't know. The ETs start coming out and all of that stuff, and then the world completely changes. Like, completely changes. So then, now there would be a thing of like, you know, excuse me. There would be a thing of like, I probably won't even want, let's say, like 97% or 99% of the things that I want now. Because, for example, I really wanted to, bust inside of the girls I would, what is it, have intercourse with, right? To share that experience with. So now that I'm thinking, like, now I don't want that anymore. Now my seed is of high value. It's not something that I just want to give to anyone, even if she's my wife. The only circumstance in which I would let that happen would be if I'm intending to bring forth life from within both of us, right? And that essence coming from the, that individual's, whichever child of mine that would be, from their soul, right? So now I'm thinking like, hey yo, desires like that, I wouldn't have guessed it, like let's say for the past 3 years or so, because that's been the recurring desire, like, yo, I wanted to bust a nut and had a girl, blah 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 blah, all of that stuff. But then now it's like, now I'll just do it if I want to have a bit, and then now I'll just enjoy that as if I was, a young boy who can't pass a nut, you know, that hasn't yeah, like, yeah, basically, so that's me realizing that, hey, yo, a lot of these things that I want now, I won't want them once I've transitioned to a different level of conscious, or a different level of awareness of my consciousness. Yes, I could say that. Yeah, I mean, taking a course to like Christianity kind of vibes and whatnot, right? Okay, not 5 years ago, because even 6, 7 years ago I was like that, but now it's different. Learning things that I learn now, or being aware of the things that I'm aware of now. Then it's just like, wow, just focus on becoming whole again, and then from that on I'll see what I want then, because now it's just like, what's the point? Because what if I don't even want to be I don't know, a rich person once I'm healed? What if there's a desire that even supersedes being rich in terms of fulfillment, or or use of consciousness, or use of awareness of my consciousness, things as such. Yeah, so yeah, that was my thoughts.